Good day, everyone. Aliii here, February 20th, 2025. S&P 500 just had a back test today, and lots of people were waiting for this as like a crash or correction or something like that. This is just a back test, folks, and nothing more than that. So it is very, very typical when you see a breaking through to the upside, especially for the new all-time high. We may go back to back test that broken trend line. This happens in February while we had this kind of like a higher high and then lower high, lower low. This is kind of like the corrective move when we had a breaking through a nice demand area. So a couple times, one, two, three, we got back test. And today it's kind of like the same similar here when we had this pattern here, new all-time high, lower high, and then breaking through to the upside. Although this is very, very small, kind of like a brand new all-time high, it's not a sharp move, but we had a back test. So this is very, very healthy. As long as we are above 6,000, we should just give market benefit of that for the next rally to the upside. I would say tomorrow candle is going to be very important. That's going to be a weekly candle, weekly close. And when we are closing above 6,100, I would say 6,000, that would be a lot of positive for a weekly. But if we get below this area, which I don't think that's going to happen. That's going to be less likely if we get below 6,000. But as long as we are above 6,100, we should just give market benefit of doubt. For the next rally to the upside, 62 to 6,300 is coming down the road. I would say that's going to be the area that everyone could be potentially intermediate top, and everyone needs to be careful on that one. Moving on to Nasdaq, which is kind of like the same pattern here. Just want to deep dive into it. This is hourly chart. Here is the all-time high, previous all-time high. So we got this higher lower highs here, and then breaking through to the upside nicely. Demand area here, we got back test this demand area nicely back up. So if we get above 22,000, let's say if we get above 22,150, so that's going to be a signal for a brand new all-time high to 22,500. So keep an eye on that one, especially when semiconductors are showing sign of strength, especially Nvidia will have earning next week, February 26. So that is very, very important for the market overall. Moving on to Dow, which had ugly day today due to financials. So banks actually hammered today and they went down. So that put pressure on Dow Jones. Dow Jones got back into this area, still forming a bullish consolidation. This is not bearish, folks. This is bullish, but Dow Jones actually is doing this pattern a lot. So if you just see that, here's the bullish consolidation. If you see that, this is another consolidation. So Dow is repeating its pattern a lot. So this is another bullish consolidation, a choppy consolidation. Why I'm saying bullish? Just because we are seeing lots of shadows on the downside. So this means buyers are getting back when Dow is getting close to 44,000. So 44,000 is kind of like a China wall there. It's going to be supported by buyers. So if we get below 44, 43,000, then we should just wear bear custom just because we are breaking this trend line. As long as we are above January low, as long as we are above 43,500, we should just give market benefit of doubt. Dow can lead higher if we break into above this neckline. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to gold, which is very, I would say, low volume trading session. For gold, this is a small bullish consolidation after 2 days ago pop here. This is Tuesday. We got February 19, which is yesterday. Today, just a doji bar consolidation, small candles. This means gold is just poising for another rally to 3,000. So 3,000 area is going to be very important. This is psychological level. So that's why gold needs to have enough energy to boost up. I would say stay tuned for gold to getting to 32 to 3,300 by end of this year, which is not going to be a crazy target. It's going to be just 10%, 10-12% upside, which is piece of cake for gold if there is enough momentum, which I believe there is going to be a momentum down the road. Moving on to silver. Silver is forming kind of like a better price action. It seems like it wants to spike up. So today, candle for silver is kind of like a stronger than gold. We had pause yesterday, but today we just got positive. And that tells me silver is in a better shape. I know that the pattern-wise silver is far away from its new all-time high, but the pattern-wise tells me that silver, if it breaking through above 34, which is going to be the possible scenario of $44 is coming down the road. Yes, 44. I didn't make a mistake. $44, that's my target for this year. Moving on to crude. Crude just getting back to the upside. Nicely, we are seeing indicators are showing us a bullish momentum coming back to this asset. So this commodity can get higher if we get above 74. So keep an eye on 74 because 74 is going to be very important. This is a dynamic trend line, and this would be the pivot for this W pattern. So if we get above this, we're going to go to test this pivot and ultimately back test potentially for $88, $92 per barrel for crude, which I don't know what's going to be the catalyst, but seems like the pattern is very strong. Moving on to individual names, starting with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is getting back to its bullish momentum. Seems like reversal is confirmed today. Ethereum is doing the same. So Ethereum is getting back to the upside. Keep an eye on 3,000 because 3,000 is going to be very, very important. Middle of this wide range bar, previous breaking through to the downside, and also this trend line. So if we get above 3,000, I would say the next target is going to be 34, double top, and 44 to 46, 4,700 down the road for Ethereum, which is going to be my target for a while, but I would say potentially this year is going to be achievable. Moving on to bond yield. Bond yield, very doji bar. So it didn't move fast, very slow today. Bond yield is just on pause. Basically, nothing happened for the bond yield. Treasury on the other side, just getting back to the upside after yesterday's surge. So Treasury just again getting back to the challenging area, which is $89. If it goes above $89, $90, that would be a very good thumbs up for Treasury because it can go higher to $93, $94 VIX. The same pattern is just forming a 2% up, 2.5. So it's forming the bottom here. But I would say this is a doji VIX. So we may see another potential drop to 12 to 13. That would be the huge buying opportunity for VIX. Dixie is down today. When bond yield was down slightly, Dixie just hammered. So this means dollar is going to get weaker and weaker, and euro is going to just getting stronger and stronger. And the other crosses to US dollar is going to get better as well. So Dixie is down, I would say 105, 105.50 is coming down the road for Dixie. Technology name, let's go to Apple. Apple just getting back to the upside, 240. $5 even after hours it closed positive. I would say Apple is strongly holding up this $240, which is very, very bullish for me. And we may see some kind of like a breaking through above 247. Then it can just spike up to 260 and even higher after that. So Amazon just going down today. I believe Amazon is kind of like a forming its corrective move to here to 220. So it's getting close to a very important level for Amazon. So keep an eye on this one. Meta just going down today. So Meta is forming its corrective move. It can go to 640. And I would say there is nothing wrong with it. If it goes to 640, we're going to take it. But remember, we sold our position when it was like a 727.17. We are happy about this correction. Moving on to Microsoft. Microsoft is getting back to the upside. Today was positive, actually, candle, but later session it just hammered. Seems like profit taking is getting profit, but I would say 448, 450 is coming down the road for Microsoft. Look at this area. So it's going to be very, very important level. Moving on to Google. Google just forming kind of like the bottom here. I don't see any like a bear flag here, just 184. That's very important area, 180. If it goes down, it can go severely down to 140. But right now, 180 is going to be a very important level. Moving on to Netflix, getting down. Seems like Netflix and Meta is just going along with each other. So if they're going up together. If they're going down, they're going down together. Netflix is forming a corrective move. I would say 870 to 930. That's the possible scenario to finish its correction. It's just the beginning. Tesla coming back down today, was still forming a bullish consolidation. I would say 360 is very important level for short term for Tesla. If it gets above this, 380. So look at 380, 390. If it goes above it, that would be a huge signal. I'm kind of like a bullish on Tesla. I'm not bearish. I know some people are saying for another potential drop down to this area. which is going to be possible scenario. There's nothing wrong with it. Still Tesla can go down to test down this area, which is going to be this gap, 240, 260. But I would say potentially Tesla finish its correction. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to semiconductor index. SMH 257 closed positive today. Doji bar getting close to this gap. So everyone is just scratching their head. What's going to happen with Nvidia next week? So we'll see. SOX, the same pattern. We just got into resistance area. So this is a trend line, but this is not symmetric trend line. So I don't like this trend line. This means I'm kind of like a bullish. I don't take any bearish position. There is no symmetry within this trend line. Look at this. So do you see any symmetry? Or this is kind of like a bullish pattern. Some people are saying cup and handle. I don't know, but this is not good actually for bears. For taking bear position, they easily can break in through to the upside. Moving on to Taiwan Semiconductor, is just forming a doji bar after corrective move. Still deal with Intel. AMD is on the table. Moving on to AMD. AMD just still forming kind of like a bearish momentum. This is very, very short-term trend line here. So if we get above 120, again, keep an eye on 120. So right now, AMD is just getting to this area. And this is kind of like the bearish channel everyone talking about. So if we get above this pivotal point around 120, that would be very interesting because pullback 137, 136. If it doesn't have any resistance, we may see a pullback again to 125 and then getting back to the upside. This is the scenario that I'm looking at for AMD. I'm kind of like a bullish. This area is in a weekly breakout, so I like this area. If you're an investor, long-term investor, this is good area. Even if it goes down to 90, still it's in the range for monthly and weekly chart. Moving on to NVIDIA, just forming a bullish consolidation, folks, prior this trend line. So here is my calculation. If Nvidia come up with a fantastic earning result or whatever market sentiment was, Nvidia can hit 168 to 172 at new all-time high. So just keep this box here. We will get back to this one. Moving on to Texas Instrument, fantastic move. Look at the spark to the upside. So Texas just got slicing this 200 nicely today and then getting back down potentially for 200 for a nice buying opportunity again to potential this double top or new all-time high. Lamb Research just hit this 92 area and rejected. Right now, Lamb can go down to test this 86. Nothing wrong with this one. It was stalking for a long time, and Lamb can go down for kind of like an $86 test, getting back to the upside. Moving on to XLF, financials just hammered today. Look at that. So this is kind of like the scenario. If we get below this pivotal point, which is Wednesday, February 25, or even here, February 3rd, 2025. If it goes below $50, that would be kind of like a huge sell for 47. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to put pressure on Dow. Moving on to KBE, which after hours just jumped up. I don't know what's happening to the stocks. We will have a look. KRE going down here. Regional banks actually just got hammered today as well. Here's the JP Morgan. Look at that. So this is engulfing. This is huge engulfing. Whenever we see something like this, stock is going to go to kind of like a period of coma, potentially for a couple even weeks. We may go down to 254. This is the area. Remember, we talked about this box. So it seems like market hears us. So moving on to Goldman Sachs, this is another kind of like a potential buying opportunity for Goldman 610. Right now, 640.42. We'll see how it goes. Bank of America goes down as well. And also Wells Fargo getting down as well. So seems like a correction within these names are coming for a couple of weeks. Moving on to GDX, which is gold miners just getting back to the upside today. Still within this wide range bar. Full disclosure, I closed my gold mining position with great profit within months. Just 1 month, 20%. Why not? I'm getting kind of like a trading session nicely with my subscribers, and we closed it nicely today. GDXJ, the same pattern, goes up. Still, it can go higher. I'm not saying it is the top, but I took profit. And AEM just getting back to the upside. However, the candle was shallow. Newmont, just after hours, is going up 48.48. I close my position here in Newmont. Still, I believe that it can go to 50 to 51. I just deployed to another name. So nicely getting back to the upside. Newmont here, I would say more bullishness rather than bearishness is coming down the road. Goldberg, just a shooting a star. It's getting to a resistance area. So I don't like to see when you're getting to the resistance area, start reacting, especially after this move to the upside. We need to see some corrective move. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to XLE, which is my favorite sector since 2-3 months now. And energy stocks are just getting back to the upside nicely today. XLE with a crude, and OIH is lagging, but it is positive as well. Look at that. Exxon just getting back to the upside nicely. If it get above 113, 115 is coming down the road. If it goes to Chevron, Chevron is 158. So keep an eye on 160, because if it goes above 160, that would be a huge run for Chevron for potential new all-time high. All right, folks, I believe I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and have a good one. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.